The message arrived on a Tuesday. Captain Kim stood on the observation deck of Earth's first interstellar ship, watching workers in spacesuits attach the final plates to the hull. 6 years of work, and the Phoenix was almost ready for its first real flight. His comm unit beeped. "Captain, you need to see this," said his second-in-command. When Kim reached the command center, everyone was staring at the main screen. A strange symbol pulsed in the center, a spiral of stars that didn't match any human design. "It came through all channels at once," said Officer Ba. "Every device on Earth received it." The symbol dissolved into an image of a creature with blue skin and 4 eyes. It spoke in perfect English. "People of Earth, I am High Counselor Terabax of the Galactic Council. After studying your species for 50 years, we have decided to make official contact." The room fell silent. First contact. After generations of wondering, the answer had come. "The Council governs all intelligent life in this sector of the galaxy. We have classified Earth as a Class 4 civilization, with humans designated as an inferior species." Kim felt his chest tighten. "Inferior. This classification is based on your biological limitations, short lifespan, and primitive technology. As an inferior species, you will have limited rights within Council space. You may send 1 representative to our headquarters on Centauri Prime." Instructions follow. The screen went black, then filled with data, star charts, coordinates, and technical specifications. Officer Ba looked up at Kim. "They called us inferior, to our faces." Kim stared at the screen. "Get me the president." 3 days later, Ambassador Park Hyjin sat across from the president in the Oval Office. At 42, she was Earth's most accomplished diplomat, with a gift for languages and a calm mind under pressure. "You understand what we're asking," said the president. "You'll be the first human to meet these aliens officially, the first to represent all of us." Park nodded. "I understand, Madam President. They've insulted us before we've even met." The president handed Park a tablet. "Our scientists have analyzed their message. The technology they sent us, it's centuries ahead of ours. So they might be right about us being inferior," Park said quietly. "Perhaps technologically," the president replied. "But I don't believe humans are inferior in ways that matter. Your job is to make them see that, too." At the same time, Captain Kim walked through the ship that would carry Ambassador Park to Centauri Prime. Engineers had worked around the clock to install the alien drive system sent in the message. Chief Engineer Choi met him by the engine room. She was young for her position, barely 30, but her mind worked in ways others couldn't follow. "Will it work?" Kim asked, looking at the strange blue glow from the new engine. "I think so," Choi said. "But there's something odd about their design. It's inefficient." Kim raised an eyebrow. "Inefficient? They're centuries ahead of us." "Yes, but look here." Choi pulled up a diagram. "Their approach to quantum mechanics is rigid. By their own physics, this engine should be 30% more efficient. Can you improve it?" Choi shook her head. "Not now. We need to get Ambassador Park to this council first." Kim looked through the viewport at Earth. His home. Their home. Blue and beautiful, and, according to the aliens, inferior. "Do you think they're right?" he asked quietly. "That we're inferior?" Choi was silent for a moment. "My grandmother used to say that people who need to tell you they're better than you rarely are." Kim smiled slightly. "Let's hope the same is true for aliens." 1 week later, the ship rose from Earth carrying humanity's hopes and Ambassador Park. As stars streaked past the windows, Park studied everything the aliens had sent, preparing for her arrival at the Galactic Council. She would show them that humans were many things, but inferior wasn't one of them. Ambassador Park stepped off the ship onto Centauri Prime. The air felt slightly thicker than Earth's, and the gravity was a bit stronger. She had trained for this, but reality was different from simulations. A tall, thin alien with gray skin waited for her. "I am Vex, your guide," it said in flat English. "Follow me to your quarters." Park expected to see the grand buildings shown in the council's message. Instead, Vex led her through narrow back streets away from the gleaming towers in the distance. Her quarters turned out to be a small room with a hard bed and dim lights. The bathroom facilities were clearly not designed for humans. The inferior species section, Vex explained without emotion. Council meeting is tomorrow at mid-cycle. Do not be late. Then it left. Park sat on the bed. After traveling 16 light years, this was humanity's welcome. Her door chimed an hour later. When she opened it, a human man stood there. Ambassador Park. I'm Lee. Lee Donghae, Earth's observer here for the past year. Park's eyes widened. Another human. They didn't tell us anyone was already here. Lee smiled. The council doesn't tell inferior species much. May I come in? Over a meal of strange but edible food Lee had brought, he explained his situation. I was part of a science team studying distant stars when they found us. The council took an interest in our math theories and brought me here to observe. Really, they wanted to question me about human science. Why would advanced aliens care about our math? Park asked. Lee leaned forward. Because we solved problems they couldn't. Our approach to quantum mathematics challenges their established theories. Some council members didn't like that. So they declared us inferior because our math made them uncomfortable, Park said. Lee nodded. I think that's part of it. The council has 5 major species who make all the decisions. They've been in power for thousands of years. And now humans show up with new ideas, Park said thoughtfully. Exactly. New ideas are dangerous to old power. The next day, Park stood before the Galactic Council. The chamber was enormous, with hundreds of different species seated in rising rings. The 5 High Counselors sat on elevated platforms at the center. High Counselor Terabax spoke first. Ambassador Park of Earth, you may present your case for reclassification. Park stepped forward. She had prepared a strong speech about human achievements, adaptability, and potential. But 3 minutes in, Terabax raised a hand. Enough. Your species lacks basic biological efficiency. Your bodies are fragile. Your lives are short. Your technology is primitive. These are facts, not opinions. But humans have other qualities. Park started. Like what? Interrupted a bird-like counselor. Your violent history. Your destruction of your own planet. Your emotional decision-making. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Park tried again. We seek only fair treatment and the classification stands. Terabax announced. Inferior species do not question council decisions. Park stood frozen as the chamber emptied. Only Lee remained, waiting by the exit. I'm sorry, he said as they walked back. They never intended to listen. I failed, Park whispered. A soft voice spoke from a side corridor. Not yet, you haven't. They turned to see a small, green-skinned alien with large eyes. I am Counselor Neem of the Arxians, the alien said. Not all of us agree with the classification of humans. Then why didn't you speak up? Park asked. Politics is complicated, Neem replied. But you should know something. 3 council species are mining resources near your solar system. And inferior classification means they don't need your permission. Park felt cold. This was never about our biology. It rarely is, Neem said. Meet me tomorrow at the gardens. There are others who see humans differently. As Neem left, Park looked at Lee. They think we're too inferior to fight back. Lee smiled slightly. That might be their first mistake. Back on Earth, Captain Kim stood in the engine room of the Phoenix *, studying the strange readout on the main screen. The ship was nearly complete, but something unusual was happening with the experimental drive. Captain, look at this, said Engineer Choi, pointing to a pattern of energy waves. The radiation levels are different from what the council data predicted. Kim frowned. Is it dangerous? No, Choi said with a small smile. It's better. Our engine is producing 40% more power than their design said was possible. How? Kim asked. Choi pulled up side-by-side diagrams. We built it exactly to their plans, but we used our mathematical models to balance the quantum flow. The result is much more efficient. They didn't know this was possible. I don't think so. Choi looked excited. Their approach to physics is different from ours. They follow strict rules passed down for thousands of years. We question everything. Kim thought for a moment. Don't tell anyone outside our team about this. If the council thinks we're inferior, let them think that while we build something better. We could have our ship ready 2 weeks ahead of schedule with this efficiency, Choi added. Then let's do it, Kim said. I have a feeling Earth will need every advantage it can get. On Centauri Prime, Ambassador Park and Lee met Councillor Neem in the public gardens. Alien plants with colors Park had never seen before grew in precise patterns. Humans fascinate me, Neem said as they walked. You adapt so quickly to new situations. Is that unusual? Park asked. Very. Most council species evolved in stable environments for millions of years. Change comes slowly to them. Neem stopped by a blue flower. Consider this plant. It has remained unchanged for 50 million years. On Earth, species constantly evolve to survive changing conditions, Lee explained. Neem nodded. Exactly. The Council sees this as chaotic and inefficient. Why change when stability is safer? Because sometimes you have to change to survive, Park said. And that is why humans worry them. Neem lowered his voice. I studied your history. In just a few thousand years, you went from simple tools to space travel. Some council members find this disturbing. So they labeled us inferior to keep us contained. Lee asked. Partly, Neem replied. But there's more. Follow me. They entered a small building at the edge of the gardens. Inside, screens showed data from various planets. This is my private research center, Neem explained. I've been running tests comparing problem-solving approaches across species. Neem touched a screen, showing a complex puzzle with multiple solutions. Council species typically find one solution and stick to it. Humans find multiple solutions and choose the best one. When faced with a completely new problem, council species often fail. Humans almost always find a way. Creative thinking, Park said. It's just how we are. It's rare in the galaxy, Neem replied. Most species follow patterns. Humans create new ones. Does the council know about your research? Lee asked. No, and it must stay that way for now. Neem looked serious. Something is happening at the edge of council space, an anomaly that our standard approaches can't solve. What kind of anomaly? Park asked. A quantum distortion that's growing larger. 3 outer worlds have already been evacuated. Neem looked at them both. I believe humans might see solutions the council is missing. Why help us? Park asked. Because true progress comes from new ideas, not old power, Neem said, and because I believe the council was wrong about humans. As they left the gardens, Park's communication device beeped with a message from Earth, *Phoenix* ahead of schedule. Captain Kim requests diplomatic information on council space near the Orient sector. That's where the anomaly is, Neem whispered. How did they know? They didn't, Park replied with growing excitement. Humans are just naturally curious about what lies beyond. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was in chaos. Screens around the chamber showed a swirling mass of energy at the edge of council space. The purple and black cloud grew larger by the hour. 3 more worlds need evacuation, announced a tall, insect-like alien. The anomaly has doubled in size since yesterday. High Councillor Terabak stood at the center platform. Our containment protocols are failing. We need more power to the barrier fields. We've already maxed out the generators on 6 systems, another councillor replied. Nothing is working. From her seat in the observer section, Ambassador Park watched the growing fear. Even Terabaks, who had dismissed humans so easily, looked worried now. Beside her, Lee whispered, "They're scared. They've never seen anything like this before." "Neither have we," Park replied. "But unlike them, we're used to facing the unknown." Her communication device vibrated. A message from Earth, *Phoenix*, ready for launch, awaiting mission orders. Park looked at the screens showing the anomaly, then at her device. An idea formed in her mind. Captain Kim stood on the bridge of the *Phoenix* as final launch preparations were made. Earth's first true starship was about to make history with its maiden voyage. His second-in-command approached. "Sir, we have a priority message from Ambassador Park." Kim read the message and frowned. "Change of plans. We're not heading to Centauri Prime. Set course for the Orion sector. Coordinates 227 to 483. Officer Ba looked surprised. "That's outside Council space. Why are we going there?" "There's some kind of space anomaly threatening nearby systems. The Ambassador thinks we should check it out." "Is that wise, Captain? Our first mission in a barely tested ship." Kim smiled slightly. "Probably not. But Park says the Council is struggling to contain it. Maybe we can learn something useful. Or get ourselves killed," Ba muttered. "That's always a possibility in space," Kim agreed. "Prepare for launch." 3 days later, the *Phoenix* dropped out of faster-than-light travel at a safe distance from the anomaly. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. A swirling mass of energy that seemed to bend the space around it. "It's bigger than the report suggested," Kim said. "And still growing." Engineer Choi studied her readings with intense focus. "Captain, there's something strange about this anomaly." "Strange how?" "Its quantum signature." She looked up, her eyes wide. "It matches the radiation pattern from our engine tests." Kim stared at her. "That's impossible." "I know, but the data is clear. Whatever is happening out there operates on the same quantum principles we use to improve the Council's engine design." Kim turned to look at the view screen. "You're saying humans understand this thing better than the Council does?" "Maybe," Choi replied. "The Council's been trying to contain it using their standard methods. But if it operates on principles they don't fully grasp, then they're fighting it wrong," Kim finished. "Can we get closer? Safely?" Choi thought for a moment. "If we modify our shields to match the quantum frequency, we might be able to edge closer than their ships." "Do it," Kim ordered. "And send a message to Ambassador Park. Tell her we found something interesting, but don't give specifics. No telling who might be listening." As Choi worked, Officer Ba approached Kim. "Sir, we're detecting Council vessels in the area. They're maintaining a perimeter around the anomaly." "Will they spot us?" "Eventually. Our stealth systems are good, but not perfect." Kim nodded. "Then we work fast. I want to know what this thing is before they know we're here." The *Phoenix* moved slowly closer to the swirling energy mass. As they approached, the ship's sensors gathered data that no Council vessel had been able to collect. "Captain," Choi called out, "I think I know what's causing this anomaly. And I might know how to stop it." 3 more planets were evacuated as the anomaly kept growing. In the Council emergency chamber, species that rarely spoke to each other now argued loudly about what to do. "We've lost contact with the outer monitoring stations," a reptilian counselor reported. "The anomaly is expanding faster than predicted." High Counselor Terabax looked tired. "Our best scientists have failed. The containment fields aren't working." Ambassador Park stood up from her observer seat. "High Counselor, I request permission to speak." "This is not the time for inferior species concerns," Terabax snapped. "But it might be time for inferior species solutions," Park replied calmly. "Earth has a ship near the anomaly. We've gathered data your ships couldn't get." The room fell silent. Terabax's 4 eyes narrowed. "You sent a ship without Council approval." "We sent an exploratory mission to map our local space," Park said carefully. "The anomaly happened to be nearby." "How convenient," said the bird-like counselor with obvious disbelief. Counselor Neem stepped forward. "What has your ship discovered?" Ambassador. Park took a deep breath. Our engineer believes the anomaly operates on quantum principles that our species has been researching. We may have a way to stabilize it. Murmurs filled the chamber. Terabax whispered with the other high counselors before turning back to Park. Very well. Your ship may attempt to help under strict council supervision. But know this, if you interfere with our operations or make things worse, Earth will face severe consequences. Park bowed slightly. Thank you, High Counselor. As she left the chamber, Lee caught up with her. That was risky. They don't like being shown up. They like extinction even less, Park replied. Now we need to contact Kim before the council supervisors reach him. The Phoenix hovered at the edge of safe distance from the anomaly when 3 council ships appeared nearby. They found us, Officer Baez said. Incoming transmission. A cold voice filled the bridge. Earth vessel. This is Commander Velix of the Council Security Force. You are in restricted space. Prepare to be boarded. Captain Kim exchanged glances with Choi before responding. Commander Velix, we're conducting scientific research with permission from our government. Your government has no authority here, Velix replied. Your ship will now be under council control. Resistance will result in immediate destruction. Before Kim could respond, another message came through, this one encrypted from Ambassador Park. Council approve human assistance. Velix knows this. Don't let them take control of your ship. Kim straightened his uniform. Commander Velix, we've just received confirmation that the Galactic Council has approved our assistance with the anomaly. We welcome Council observers, but the Phoenix remains under Earth command. There was a long pause before Velix responded. I will board with 2 advisors. Prepare your docking bay. Commander Velix was tall and gray with metallic ridges along his face. He looked around the Phoenix with obvious disgust. Primitive, he muttered. How do you expect to help when your technology is centuries behind ours? Sometimes a fresh perspective is useful, Kim replied. Engineer Choi will explain our findings. In the briefing room, Choi displayed her data. The anomaly is a quantum fold in spacetime. It's similar to what happens in our engine, but on a massive scale. Impossible, said one of Velix's advisors. The math doesn't work that way. Not according to council math, Choi agreed, but human quantum theory predicted this possibility. Velix snorted. And what does human theory suggest we do about it? We create a counter-resonance field, Choi explained. Basically, we make a small, controlled version of the anomaly that cancels out the big one. That violates Council safety protocols, Velix said firmly. We will try our containment method again with more power. That approach has failed 7 times, Kim pointed out. How many more worlds need to be evacuated before you try something new? Watch your tone, human, Velix warned. You may have Council permission to help, but I decide what help is acceptable. Just then, alarms blared throughout the ship. Officer Baz's voice came over the comm. Captain, the anomaly just expanded by 30%. One of the Council ships was caught in the edge. It's gone, sir. Velix paled. Impossible. Kim looked at him steadily. Still want to try it your way, Commander. The loss of the Council ship changed everything. Commander Velix still didn't trust the humans, but he had run out of options. You have 12 hours to implement your solution, he told Captain Kim. If you fail, we retreat and quarantine this entire sector. Understood, Kim replied. Engineer Choi needs full access to your ship's data on the anomaly. Velix nodded stiffly. Granted. But my advisors will watch every move your people make. In the engine room, Choi and her team worked quickly. They needed to modify the Phoenix's engine to generate a counter-resonance field that would stabilize the anomaly without making it worse. We need to reverse the quantum flow here, Choi explained to Officer Ba, and increase power to these conduits. One of Velix's advisors, a blue-skinned alien with 6 fingers on each hand, watched with growing interest. Your approach is Unusual, he commented. That's one way to put it, Choi replied without looking up from her work. We're basically doing the opposite of what council physics would suggest. That defies thousands of years of established science, the advisor said. Ba smiled. Welcome to human engineering. If it works, we don't care if it breaks the rules. 8 hours into their work, the first major problem hit. The modified engine components kept overheating. The materials can't handle the quantum stress, Choi said, wiping sweat from her forehead. They had been working nonstop, and everyone was tired. Can we reinforce them? Kim asked. Not with anything on board, Choi replied. We need a special alloy that can withstand the heat. Velix, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. The council ships carry such alloys for emergency repairs. Will you share them with us? Kim asked directly. Velix hesitated only briefly. Yes, I will have them brought over immediately. As they waited, the second council ship reported that the anomaly had expanded again. They were running out of time. With the new materials, Choi's team worked even faster. The humans took turns grabbing quick meals and short rests while continuing their work. The council observers watched in confusion. Don't you need to sleep? One asked after the humans had been working for nearly 20 hours straight. We'll sleep when we're done, Bay replied, then added with a tired smile, or dead. Is that a joke? The observer asked, bewildered. Gallows humor, Choi explained while adjusting a circuit. Humans laugh when things get scary. It helps us cope. Fascinating, the observer murmured, making notes in a small device. As they approached the 24-hour mark, the modified engine was ready for testing. But when they activated it, a power surge blew out 3 key components. No, Choi shouted as alarms blared. We're losing the containment field. The council observers backed away, clearly expecting disaster. Velix stepped forward. This attempt has failed. We must retreat. Not yet, Kim said firmly. Choi, what do we need? Choi looked at the damage. The regulator circuits are fried. We need to rebuild them from scratch. How long? 6 hours at least, but the anomaly will be too close by then. Kim thought for a moment. What if we manually adjust the quantum flow? Bypass the regulators entirely. Choi stared at him. That would mean someone has to stay in the engine room during operation. The radiation would be dangerous. But it would work. Kim pressed. In theory, yes. Velix stepped closer. You would risk your lives on a theory. That's what humans do, Kim replied simply. We take risks when there's no safe option left. He turned to his crew. I need 3 volunteers to help engineer Choi with manual regulation. Every human in the room raised their hand without hesitation. Velix watched silently, his expression unreadable. Then he did something unexpected. He raised his hand too. The council has studied humans for 50 years, he said slowly. But I don't think we ever really saw you until now. The modified engine room of the Phoenix glowed with strange blue light. Captain Kim, Engineer Choi, Officer Bai, and Commander Velix wore protective suits as they prepared for the dangerous task ahead. Each of us will monitor one section, Choi explained. When the lights on your panel turn red, you must turn your dial to keep them yellow. If they go green, we risk overload. The radiation will penetrate our suits after about 20 minutes, Kim added. So we work fast. Velix checked his equipment. My species can withstand radiation better than humans. I will take the central station. Kim nodded with respect. Thank you, Commander. As they made final preparations, one of Velix's advisors entered. Commander, may I speak with you privately? There's an urgent message from the council. Velix stepped out briefly. When he returned, something had changed in his eyes. Begin the procedure, he ordered. I need to check something on my ship. Kim felt uneasy, but they had no time to waste. Start the countdown. The engine hummed louder as Choi activated the counter-resonance field. On the main screen, They could see the anomaly's swirling energy starting to react to their efforts. "It's working," Choi said, her voice tight with concentration. "The quantum patterns are stabilizing." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Officer Bai checked her console. "Captain, power fluctuations in Section 3, where Valex was working." Kim rushed to the station. Critical systems had been disabled. "He sabotaged us," Kim realized. "Shut it down before." A violent shake rocked the ship. The counter-resonance field wavered, making the anomaly pulse dangerously. "Velex's ship is leaving," they reported. "They're running away." Kim opened a communication channel. "Commander Velex, what are you doing?" Velex's face appeared on screen, his expression cold. "I have my orders, Captain Kim. This anomaly is Council property." "Property?" Kim couldn't believe what he was hearing. "It's destroying entire worlds. It is harvesting exotic particles that power our most advanced technology," Velex explained. "These events occur naturally every few centuries. The Council has learned to harvest them." "At the cost of how many lives?" Choi demanded. "Acceptable losses from primitive worlds," Velex replied without emotion. "Your solution would have ended the harvest prematurely." "So you sabotaged us," Kim said. "I am programmed to protect Council interests. The anomaly will burn itself out eventually." "After destroying dozens more planets," Kim shouted. "That is not my concern." "Goodbye, Captain Kim. Your inferior species was more clever than expected, but in the end, still too trusting." The screen went black as Velex's ship accelerated away. Choi looked at the damaged controls. "The sabotage has caused a power loop. The engine is overloading. We have 10 minutes before it explodes." "Can we fix it?" Kim asked. She shook her head. "Not from here. Someone needs to manually reset the system from inside the core chamber. The radiation there is lethal." Kim looked at his crew. "I'll go." "No," Choi said firmly. "I'm the engineer. I know exactly what needs to be done." "We'll both go," Kim decided. "Ba, evacuate everyone else to the escape pods. If we don't succeed, get as far away as possible." They nodded, fighting back tears. "It's been an honor, Captain." Wearing only basic protection, Kim and Choi entered the core chamber. The blue light was blinding now, and they could feel the radiation burning through their suits. "We need to reverse these connections," Choi said, her hands moving quickly despite the pain. "Then reset the quantum flow." Kim helped as best he could, following her instructions. "If this works, what happens to the anomaly?" "If we're lucky, our field will stabilize it," Choi said. "If we're very lucky, we might even survive this." As the counter hit 0, they locked the final connection in place. The ship shuddered violently. "Brace yourself," Choi whispered. A wave of energy pulsed from the core, through the ship, and out toward the anomaly. The last thing Kim saw before losing consciousness was the anomaly beginning to shrink on the monitor. Then everything went dark. Captain Kim opened his eyes slowly. His body felt heavy and his skin burned. A face came into focus above him. "Officer Ba." "Captain." "You're awake," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Choi?" he asked immediately. "Alive. Barely. The medical team is with her now." Kim tried to sit up but couldn't. "The anomaly?" "Stabilized," Bae replied with a smile. "Your plan worked. The counter-resonance field contained it, and it's shrinking slowly now." Kim relaxed slightly. "The ship? Damaged but repairable. We got lucky." Ba's expression changed. "But we have a new problem. Council reinforcements arrived an hour ago. 6 ships, including one carrying High Counselor Terabax himself." As if on cue, the door to the medical bay slid open. Terabax entered, followed by 2 guards and Commander Velex. "Captain Kim," Terabax said coldly, "you have interfered with Council operations and damaged valuable Council property." "We stopped a disaster that was killing innocent people," Kim replied, his voice weak but determined. That was not your decision to make. Terabax snapped. This ship and all its research are now seized by Council authority. Velix stepped forward, looking smug. The extraction techniques used by this inferior species may still be useful to us. I recommend we take their scientists for questioning. Agreed, Terabax said. Prepare transport for the humans. Ba stood protectively in front of Kim's bed. You can't do this. We saved countless lives. Stand aside, ordered one of the guards, raising a weapon. Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the ship. A voice came over the communication system. High Counselor, 3 ships have just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They're not responding to identification requests. Terabax frowned and activated his comm device. Deal with them. I'm busy. Sir, the voice replied urgently. One of the ships is registered to Counselor Neem. And there's a human vessel with them. The medical bay door opened again. Ambassador Park walked in, followed by Counselor Neem and representatives from other species Kim didn't recognize. High Counselor, Park said calmly. I see we arrived just in time. Terabax turned, his 4 eyes narrowing. Ambassador Park, this does not concern you. I think it does, Park replied. Especially since we have evidence that you ordered Commander Velix to sabotage the Phoenix after it proved the anomaly could be contained safely. Velix stiffened. That's a lie. Is it? Counselor Neem stepped forward, holding a small device. This is the recording of your orders to Commander Velix. Would you like me to play it for everyone here? Terabax's skin darkened with anger. Counselor Neem, you overstep your authority. And you abuse yours, Neem replied. These humans risked their lives to save worlds that you were willing to sacrifice for particle harvesting. One of the alien representatives, a tall figure with crystal-like skin, spoke next. 3 of those worlds belong to my people. We never approved their sacrifice. The Council decides what sacrifices are necessary, Terabax insisted. Not anymore, Park said. We've transmitted evidence of your operations to every member species of the Council. The secret is out. Terabax stared at them in shock before turning to his guards. Return to the ship. Prepare weapons systems. Are you declaring war on your own Council members? Neem asked in disbelief. I am preserving the natural order, Terabax replied. Inferior species do not dictate terms to their betters. As Terabax and his guards left, Park moved to Kim's bedside. How are you feeling, Captain? Like I was hit by a spaceship, Kim joked weakly. But I'll live. What happens now? Now we wait, Park said. Terabax has ordered his ships to attack, but 3 Council vessels have broken formation. They're refusing to fire on the Phoenix. Why? Kim asked. Neem answered, because you did what they could not. You risked everything to save others, even those who called you inferior. Outside the ship, tension grew as Terabax's remaining loyal vessels faced off against a growing number of ships that refused to attack the humans who had just saved countless lives. 1 month later, Ambassador Park stood before the full Galactic Council. The Great Chamber looked different now. Several High Counselor seats were empty, including Terabax. New representatives filled other seats, many from species that had rarely spoken in Council matters before. The evidence is clear, Park said, her voice steady and strong. High Counselor Terabax and his allies deliberately sacrificed inhabited worlds to harvest particles from space anomalies. When humans found a way to safely contain these anomalies, they tried to silence us. Counselor Neem, now acting as temporary head of the Council, nodded. The Council acknowledges these crimes. Terabax and his supporters have been removed from power and will face justice. But that is not why I'm here today, Park continued. I've come to request a formal review of Earth's classification as an inferior species. Murmurs filled the chamber. Neem raised a hand for silence. Present your case, Ambassador. Park activated a large display showing footage from the Phoenix. The council watched as Kim, Choi, and the crew worked tirelessly to save lives, even after Velex's betrayal. Humans were classified as inferior because our biology is different from yours, Park explained. Our lives are shorter, our bodies less efficient, but those differences created strengths you didn't recognize. She changed the display to show mathematical formulas. Because we evolved on a changing planet, humans constantly adapt and find new solutions. Our quantum theories challenged your established science because we approach problems differently. Next, she showed images of humans working through exhaustion to solve the anomaly crisis. When faced with impossible challenges, humans push beyond normal limits. We use humor to cope with fear. We take risks to save others. The chamber was completely silent now. These traits were labeled as inefficient or primitive, Park said, but they saved lives when efficiency alone could not. Engineer Choi stepped forward, still showing signs of radiation damage, but standing tall. The council's approach to the anomaly failed because it followed fixed rules. Humans succeeded because we questioned those rules. Captain Kim joined her. Our shorter lives don't make us inferior. They make us value each moment more. We're willing to sacrifice ourselves because we understand how precious life is. Park looked around the chamber. The classification of inferior species isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. It blinds you to new ideas and different approaches that might save you when your old ways fail. Councillor Neem conferred quietly with the other leaders before addressing the chamber. The council has reached a decision. The classification of humans as an inferior species is hereby revoked. Cheers erupted from the observer sections where representatives from many worlds had gathered. In its place, Neem continued when the noise subsided. Earth will be classified as an emergent species of special capability. Park bowed slightly. Thank you, Counselor. Don't thank me yet, Neem replied with what might have been a smile. This new classification comes with responsibilities. Many worlds have requested human assistance with their most challenging problems. Kim looked surprised. They'd want our help. After calling us inferior, they saw what you did, Neem explained. You risked everything to save others who had dismissed you. That made an impression. 2 weeks later, the Phoenix prepared for its second voyage. The ship had been repaired and improved with a mix of human innovation and council technology. Captain Kim stood on the bridge with Engineer Choi beside him. On the main screen, Ambassador Park reported from Centauri Prime. You have your pick of missions, Captain, she said. 17 worlds have requested human assistance with problems their own scientists couldn't solve. Who would have thought being different would become our greatest strength? Choi said with a smile. Kim looked at his crew, humans working alongside several alien species who had requested to join the Phoenix. I think we're just getting started. As the ship prepared to depart, Councillor Neem watched from the council observatory. Another councillor joined him. Do you think we made the right decision, reclassifying them? The councillor asked. Neem nodded slowly. The galaxy never realized what it was missing until humans showed us how to think differently. I believe we're all about to evolve.